If you like what I make and want to help out the channel, make sure you subscribe to it, turn on notifications, leave a like on the video below, and comment as well. Thanks for your support, guys.
Hey there YouTube, welcome back to the Gecko. Another day, another video for you guys. This is gonna be like a rant video where I actually wanted to show you that I used the 600 and I think 30, whatever it was, 1,000 stars I got from Huey Hops way back then. I used it about a week or two ago and tried to get the 25 million gem dream. Of course, spoiler alert, it failed. But I definitely got a lot of gems, so stick around if you want to watch the whole thing. But this video is going to be me talking to you guys about a subject that I've been asked about a lot, and a lot of other YouTubers have talked about it as well in like some sort of context, but I want to address it straight on, and that's the rumor, the speculation, the thought, the feeling that Lords Mobile is a game that's dying. Now, Lords Mobile, in absolutely 100%, no way and no metric ever, is dying. The game is growing, money is being spent more than ever, IGG is making a ton of money, there's a ton of new players coming in every day, there's hundreds of kingdoms being opened, like literally there is 120 some kingdoms right now, and there weren't that many. This is a game that's a year old. There weren't even 100 like 2 months ago, and it's just opening up to be this crazy thing. And the reason a lot of people are saying the game is dying is a lack of comprehension on where they stand versus the game. So it's not that they don't understand it, it's just that they don't remember. And I want to remind them, as well as you guys, about a few things in this game. The game, in my opinion, is divided into 3 tiers. The beginner tier, intermediate tier, and of course, the top tier. Now, the beginner tier is very interesting because you're always like unlocking new things and another research here, and oh, I finally got tier 3s and stuff like that. In my opinion, the lower tier is all the way till you unlock tier 3s. Until then, you're learning the game, you're exploring, you're like having this interesting game going on. Now, in between tier 3s and tier 4s, and even after, I'd say about 150 million might. I was like, after you have tier 4s and some tier 4s, is the intermediate level where most people either quit on or get stuck on and stuff like that, because the journey to tier 4 is so hard that a lot of people quit halfway through. And really, they can do a lot of things at the tier 3 level, but of course, that's where tier 3 and like the tier mid-tier and top tier mix up a little bit when you see like big players attacking 50 million, 60 million, 80 million players and stuff like that. But at the same time, these players have an ecosystem where they hit smaller players as well, where in some kingdoms, they rule, like the newer kingdoms. Now, the game is, of course, what it is for sure, is very heavy top-sided. Like, the top tier is so stacked that you can't do absolutely anything against it. If you have a full champion set, you're about as strong as you can get in the game. And of course, anyone who has a full champion set has also all the gold jewels and stuff like that. So when you're up playing against those people, it's really hopeless. Like, I felt hopeless so many times as a 200 million player before I had this big account and all that stuff. I felt so hopeless that I can never unshield, that I'm in a guild where if I unshield, I'm getting zeroed in a second. Just like happened with Stridox, just like happened with King H. You're at the spot where if you unshield, you're done for. And it gets boring where all you can do is train some troops, gain some gems, buy packs, I guess, and hope for the best, and look, try to grow slowly and steadily. Like, that's where most people feel like the game is dying, because it gets to the point where they forget all the crazy adventures they went through in this game to get to tier 4, to understand how tier 3s even worked, like to understand how to do hero stages and to understand what's the meaning of having heroes in like gold and how to fight Coliseum and stuff like that. All these things that you're already used to on your day-to-day basis that are already super boring. You say, okay, well, the game is dying because there's nothing to do, and there is nothing to do. There are days where when I didn't have this billion account, where I'd log in, train troops, and that's it. Best case scenario, I'd go hunt 2 monsters and come back. I'd get like hero stages, 120 STA. I'd do 5 Coliseums. That's a 20-minute worth of game at best. Not even that. If you know what you're doing, less than 10 minutes, you clock all these out and you're done. You got nothing to do. What are you going to go gather? If you gather, someone hits your tile, you lost your troops. What are you going to do? What can you do? You occasionally, so you start doing all these little things like be the bank of your guild, or be the guy who sends resources, or even buy packs to try to get out of that spot. But some players can't afford to buy packs. Some players do want to be the free-to-play. Some players don't have the... There's players in my guild who have spent in 5 minutes more than I've spent all game long and more than I would be willing to spend through my game. If I got that money and they said, listen, you can either spend it on the game and keep your account or lose your account and keep the money, I'd keep the money any day of the week. You know? So the game is not dying. The higher you go up, the more stagnant it gets, because at the top, all there is to do is rally other big players or hit smaller players, which a lot of people call bullying. I find it retarded. Using the word bullying is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because bullying someone is waiting for him to heal his troops and hit them again. Bullying someone is following him around wherever he ports. That's bullying. When you hit a smaller guild, you hit a smaller castle as a big player, what do you want me to do? You want me to only rally people my level? How am I supposed to? There is a kingdom, like the kingdom we're in right now, with tons and tons and tons of guilds who are gathering, and I can't gather for myself enough. I cannot physically gather for myself enough. I have to get another source. So what? I'm supposed to spend my gems and give you so you can... It's a war game. There is no such thing as bullying. So what you end up doing is you go hit these small guys because you're looking for something to do, because you're looking for resources. And that's about that. That's what's left in the game. And of course, join the rally occasionally. That's if you don't have a big rally leader status. And if you're in the rally leader status, you can go rally anyone you want. And even that's relative. So is the game dying? The game is absolutely 100% not dying. The game has some of the craziest fights. Kingdom 76 fought for 27 hours. Rally after rally after rally after rally. 27 hours. Let's stop for a second and say that out of 27, 1 hour was maintenance. Okay. And the first 2 hours, the timer was a little bit high. It was started from an hour and a half and went down all the way to 20 minutes. So until the 20 minutes area, it wasn't as intense. But from the moment they hit the 20-minute mark and they had to reset every 20 minutes the fort, the base, it got crazy. And they fought and fought. Full guilds lost all their tier 4s. Full guilds lost all their resources. Full guilds went crazy. That war cost so much money. It's just surreal. How can you say the game is dying? I'll tell you what's happening to the game. The game is getting a little bit stagnant towards the top. Meaning there's nothing you can do. If you are someone like me, 200 million might, you have absolutely nothing to do. Unless you have enough troops that you can hide them and you keep hiding constantly your troops and join rallies here and there. Other than that, or you're a trap, I guess. Other than that, you really can't do much. So then they have this guild bash, which is pretty cool. It gives you a little bit of things to do. They added these dark nests, which is rallies for you to learn how to rally properly. If you know how to use these dark nests well, you'll train your rallying abilities and knowledge, understanding which troop hits what and what percentages to send them and stuff like that. That's really great. That adds something to do. They have these monsters that appear 3 times to give you a bunch of rewards. Now they started giving me chests because they want people to progress a little bit faster. They know the game is so top stacked that they have to breach the gap between the top and the mid layer. They have to close it out a little bit more. And the gap between free to play and pay to play has to be closed a little bit. That's the only bad thing that's happening in Lords Mobile, is that gap keeps growing and there's absolutely nothing to do unless you're a big money spender. And that's where the game is dying, quote unquote. Because when you reach that point, it gets boring. It gets boring. If I didn't find myself being an R4 and BRR at the time and kind of doing all these crazy things around the game, not even the game, then I would be probably bored out of my mind around 120 million might. Even less than that, around 80 million might, I'd be like, alright, well, this is stupid. Same thing in A2Z. I found myself doing these little things, and thankfully, I got this billion account to play on, so I barely go on my main anymore, which I just go to close the little things that need to be done, and that's about that. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, he's mooching off of Lolo and whatever not. He doesn't play on his account. All he does is mooch off of other people. Any of you who had a 1 billion account that you could use would use it and dump your own account. So please, please, the fakeness and the double-sided arguments are complete crap. Anyway, the game is not dying. The game has a lot to offer. You gotta understand how to enjoy it. You gotta understand what you're capable of and what not. You gotta understand how to set your expectations of the game according to what you're able to do or not. And you gotta understand that unlike anyone else, unlike Brent Chung or unlike M44 FanLove or all these other big players that have freaking full champ gear, unless you're willing to spend that money, you realistically will be playing a completely different game than they are. If you don't have the money to be a 700 million account, to get all these different gear, it doesn't even need to be champion. It can be any other gear that is gold. Then you will be playing a different game, and you gotta understand to set your expectations accordingly. Bottom line, as I said many times over and over, the game is not dying. The game is stagnant towards the top. There's nothing we can do about it. And all that you can do is enjoy these events like Guild Fest, like Guild Bash, like KVK, which allow you a little bit of freedom to unshield and go do some things that you wouldn't be able to do when your enemies are literally just waiting for you to make a mistake to zero you. So that's what I wanted to do this video. I wanted to rant a little bit. It's a 10-minute rant about the game not dying. I can give you a great example right now. Mr. Stridox Plays. If you guys haven't seen, he has a brand new live stream. He's been streaming every day. His brand new account where he joined a place where a kingdom where that is restricted, and he just built a brand new account, and he's the overlord. And look at how much fun he's having back in the game, because he's not at the top tier stagnant anymore. He's in a place where he can be 12 million might and be the overlord and have so much fun with the game. He knows what he's doing. Of course, the moment that kingdom gets unrestricted for migration, he's gonna get destroyed like he did last time. It's just how it is. But up until the point where that happens, look at how much fun he's having. He went from wanting to quit Lords Mobile to streaming every night his brand new account. That just goes to show you the difference between playing at the top tier and at the bottom tier, which he is at the bottom tier right now, and he is enjoying every moment of it. You can see it on his streams. If you haven't seen the streams, make sure you go check them out. He streams every day. There's VODs. Go look at how he made his account. We take no L's, as he says. And he hasn't. He's not taking any L's, and he's enjoying it while he's doing it, which is all that matters. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you very much for watching this video and listening to this rant. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? You think the game is dying? What do you think the game needs to change? You think that it's too expensive? Of course you do. You think that there is something... What would you suggest to IGG to do with the game? And of course, what I'm saying is, don't say like, oh, well, make it cheaper or stuff like that. Like legitimate things that would make the game more interesting. In my opinion, something that will make the game a lot better is the ability to be able to send items that you have in your bag to other people. Make it cost gems. So you have to pay a certain set amount of gems to send either equipment parts, I don't know, speed ups that you already have. Make it so that it's like half the gift price or something like that, and just give it some sort of price. Allow a big player who spent a ton of money and have a bunch of material parts just sitting there that they can't use to give away to one of the smaller players in his guild so he can build up a little bit. I think that would be fantastic. Another thing that'll make this game great is changing the chat system so that other guilds, like you can create like an alliance chat where other guilds talk to each other. Or you can privately create a chat that appears at the top, not private messages, because private messages are too much of a hassle. You with one person or with your R4s only, like in-game chat and stuff like that. If they added these two things, in my opinion, the game would be completely different. It would close the gap between free-to-play and pay-to-play. It will make some players a little bit stronger without having to spend too much, which in general will close that gap we talked about. And the messaging thing will allow better coordination between teams, between people, which always makes a game better. Let me know what you think at the bottom. And again, I'm the Gekko. I'm out of here. See you guys next time. Cheers.